So one big topic that we've talked about a lot in the past on this channel in a number of different videos is Dota, Dota 2, and Warcraft 3. Dota is such an interesting topic in general since League has so many connections to it. I mean, you can go back and take a look at some of my older Did You Know episodes and see all the different connections and origin stories that League has with Dota, with Warcraft 3, and the mods that sort of just created this entire genre. It's some pretty interesting stuff since no other game in the history of video games has really been formed in the same sort of way that League and Dota were. There have been games in the past, of course, that have come from mods, games like Counter-Strike, but I don't think any of the mods that have existed before have reached the same level of success that the original Dota did, and I don't think that there's really been any game that's reached the same level of popularity that League has afterwards. Anyway, a lot of people have been talking about Dota recently and talking about the differences between League and Dota because of the whole chroma skins coming out right as Dota was getting all those tools of support from Valve, and a lot of people saying that Valve is so much better than Riot and how they're going to leave League to go play Dota or whatever it was. But honestly, I don't think I'd ever really be able to play Dota. I've tried to get into the game a number of times. Some people might prefer League because of not having to worry about denying creeps. Some people might prefer League or Dota based on the champion designs or the way that the two different games balance their different champions or heroes in Dota. I mean, there's a bunch of differences between the games that make them different, and there's a number of different reasons why one person might prefer one of the games to the other. But honestly, the only reason that I cannot pick up Dota and play it for more than a game or two is because of turn animations. We've mentioned this before in the past, but for those of you who don't know, turn animations are basically a thing in Dota that was left over from the Warcraft 3 game engine. In League, when you move your character, it doesn't really matter which direction they're facing. Depending on your ping, you're going to move pretty much instantly when you click. So if I click to go forward, I will be moving forward, but if I want to move backwards, then there won't be that big of a difference in the moment for me clicking and the moment that my character will start moving in that direction. But Dota has this thing called turn animations where it depends which way your character is facing. If you're moving one way and then you want your character to turn around and move the other, the character will have to move really slowly at first. The character will have to turn in the direction they want to move before they start moving there. Whenever I talk about the differences between League and Dota, this is something that I almost always bring up because it's a really big factor as to why I cannot get into Dota. Turn animations make the game feel laggy, in my opinion. They make the game have this sort of unnecessary laggy feel to it that I really don't like and have a hard time getting past. I would honestly love to play Dota for a little while, get into the game and get to see all the differences that it has with League. You get to see all the differences and better understand both games and the differences between them, but every time I try to play Dota, I cannot get past the way that my characters feel. I think it's really easy for people to get caught up a little bit too much in the features that their game has, whatever game it is you like to play. If you compare it to another, or you even just try and describe the game you're playing to another person, it's really easy to just focus on the features of the game. But in the end, we're playing video games, and video games are meant to be fun. And although different people might have different opinions, I honestly just think League of Legends feels more fun to play. To use your abilities, in different ways, last hitting, like everything feels very clean and smooth on all the champions that I play, at least. And there are some champions out there that I will not play because they don't feel fun. One of the reasons I love Aurelia is because she feels so smooth. It's so enjoyable to use her Q to hop around the battlefield. It's so nice and satisfying when the way all of her abilities flow together. Because of that, I've played Aurelia for more than 1,000 games now. I mean, it's been a hoot. It's been so enjoyable for me to play this champion just based around the movement, around everything about her, the way you control her. It's just so enjoyable. Whereas you can compare that to Karthus with his wonky ass auto attack that makes it feel like you aren't even supposed to use your auto attack, which you kind of aren't. I mean, he is a champion that I have a very hard time playing or a very hard time using because he feels a lot less responsive in that kind of way. I don't know, this is just something I wanted to talk a little bit about today since I feel like people definitely still take League of Legends and Dota and the differences between the two games way too seriously. I mean, sometimes it feels like the two different games are two political parties that just won't stop bashing each other to... I mean, it gets pretty ridiculous sometimes, right? I mean, it's video games, right? Just play the game you have more fun with and focus on that. Anyway, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and go play some more games myself. I will, of course, see you all tomorrow, but until then, thank you guys very much for watching. Good luck in solo queue, and have a wonderful day.